Hello, and welcome to the 5 Realities of Rich, brought to you by Kathy Maino, one of the sister-in-laws. For those of you that don't know me, I am one of the other older sisters. For those of you lucky enough to be blessed with my brilliance at the wedding, yes, I was the one who gave the long, exhaustive toast at their wedding almost 20 years ago. Don't worry, be quick today. I'm sorry I can't be there. I'm in Virginia. Couldn't make it back for the weekend. But I wanted to be there in spirit, and I wanted to share a few of my thoughts on Rich and some of the realities that make him who he is. The first one is that Rich is a handyman. Now, most of you are aware of this. He owns several houses and he does a lot of the work on his own. But this was not so when they first got married. When they first lived in the house over in Arbor Hills, Rich was a do-it-yourselfer. He was trying to take care of a lot of things on his own and fixing things around the house on his own. Well, there happened to be an occasion to where he and Tina came home and walked into the back door, and the backyard was completely flooded. Completely flooded. It looked almost like a lake. Well, they thought piping had broke, and they called a plumber in, couldn't figure out what the issue was right away until Rich discovered that yes, he was working on a project and left the hose on for about 3 days, which completely flooded the backyard. The second example of Rich's evolution into becoming a great handyman is that he showed up at a family event, which happened to be Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is a big event in our house. We all get together and have a great time, sometimes too much fun, and sometimes very weird things happen. But this particular Christmas Eve was several years back early on in their marriage, and Rich showed up with this huge black eye. And that posed the question, Rich, how did you get such a thing? Rich replied that he was working outside hammering a pipe and hit the pipe too hard, and the hammer bounced back and smacked him in the face. So I'm certainly glad and obviously apparent that Rich has evolved into a much handier handyman. I don't see too many bruises and bumps anymore. But early on, it was fun to watch. So that's one reality of Rich. The second is he may not be a member of AA, but he is a member of MM, and that's Morgan Mayhem. Over the past 20 years that Tina and Rich have been married, I haven't had an occasion to see him drink very often. He's never been a big drinker. But the times he has drank and he picks up Captain Morgan's, the gyrating starts and he starts wiggling and he starts doing all sorts of thrusting and swaying. The body starts going. It's pretty interesting. Anything can happen. And if you haven't already heard some of the Captain Blackout stories, I'm sure they're on their way. I wasn't privy to that, but I certainly got to see a whole lot of pelvis gyrating. Number 3, Rich is a police officer. Well, he was a police officer. I guess once one, always one. But I think those skills have taught him to be very decisive. Rich can make a quick decision, and it has an impact. Case in point. Debbie, my older sister Tina, and her husband Tom, and Rich and Tina and I went to go see a show at the Barn Theater over in Augusta County. And we stopped to have dinner at a restaurant. Really enjoyable. And back then, more now, the 3 of us girls avoid bread, but we were trying to watch what we eat, and we're competitive in a good way. So we each had these wonderful rolls that they brought to the table, but only one. And at the end of dinner, there was one left. And so all 3 of us were like, no, you take it. I don't want it. You take it. No, you eat it. I don't want it. The 3 of us were sitting there going back and forth, enough so that Rich finally made a decision. He picked up the last roll, licked it, and put it back in the basket. Decision made, and nobody was going to frickin' touch it after that. So I think being a police officer has taught him a lot about decision making and quick thinking. Number 4, reality of Rich. He may not know this, but Tina shared something with me a long time ago that he had a secret fantasy about 2 redheads. Just saying. Reality number 5. And this is important. I don't know how many of you know this, but he has got a huge package. A huge package. I mean, it's the envy of everybody who knows him. It's impressive in size. It's impactful. It's overwhelming. And oh my God, Tina has to be so fulfilled with it. So fulfilled. I have to tell you. You know, I'm talking about his life package, right? His Cadillac, his Jaguar, house on the lake. He's got boats and toys. He's got two perfect kids. What did you think I was talking about? Happy retirement, Rich. I wish I could be there. Enjoy, celebrate, and I'll see you guys soon. Love you.